Everybody say hi. Hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Okay.
It's hard to remember. Blood.
Breathe deeply. Tell me about your nightmare.
There is evil at work in our homeland. Greedy lords who bring war.
He comes.
Okay.
Oda Nobunaga
Oh, okay. That's what he looks like, eh?
is under attack. This blade cannot be taken.
What?
Now's the time.
These people don't care about us.
Blood for blood.
Oh, that's a cool shot.
This land will soon be unified by my vision. Is that tyranny?
I ride with you. My whole life, I have been caught on a wind, blown across the world.
I see potential in this man.
I like how they appropriately made him so
Soldier's
tall.
not one of us.
That's
Send
nice.
him back to wherever he belongs.
He may become a legend, or he may die. Kill me? No. Tools belong in the old world. This is the way forward.
Oh.
You slaughtered innocents!
The blade. It is you. You are a part of something bigger than this war.
I was wondering if the Templars were going to show up. Okay.
Our fates are connected.
We have all seen darkness. Some have been that darkness. Because you believe in my cause, we have come together, despite it all. To bring change, to bring light.
So the one thing I've noticed is they've really, in like the marketing in this trailer, they've really toned Yasuke down. Like they're not making a big point of him being there. They're like, yeah, he's kind of here, you know, don't get mad at us anymore. My issue, honestly, has with when it comes to AC Shadows has always been more that you're making a historical character playable in AC, which while you could say, look, they're doing something new and different, it's weird since Assassin's Creed has always been the concept of like playing the person that's been interwoven through history, and through them you can tell the true history that's always gone on. So like playing an actual historical character like person is weird. Specifically for Assassin's Creed. I don't mean any other like franchise like Nui. I'm not sure how to say it, but like how they have Yasuke in it. That's what makes it weird for AC. I did have the thought though watching the trailer that what would have been really interesting, and I guess we'll have to see if they do this, is that through Naoe they tell the assassin story, and then through Yasuke they're telling like the Templar side of the story. Now if they did that, that would be interesting. Not that Yasuke is a Templar, but like let's say Oda ends up being like the Templar representative of the game, and you have him like on the outskirts of the Templar order and seeing what's going on, so you get like that deeper look. But part of me wonders if that would have been better as like an expansion, like where you give Naoe like the whole game, her whole game, and then you like as an expansion you would get to play Yasuke's side, so you get to see more about what's going on than other her limited view. That may have been better if they decide to do that. Yeah, Pawn of the Templars, exactly. Yeah. That would have been interesting. But let's just be honest, Quebec also has this thing where they've always wanted to do dual pro tags. Like you had Evie and Jacob, and then you had Cassandra and oh god, what was his name? The other Alexios. But to be fair, like depending on which one you played in, that one was the bad guy and which one was the good guy, right? That was the weird thing about Odyssey. So this one, it seems like they're trying to like go back and redo what they did in Syndicate and make it better. But it's also like, just give the girl her main. She's obviously the main character. Just let her be the main character. Like, nobody cares if you're going to play a chick assassin. Like, nobody cares. That's like an Assassin's Creed fan. Like, we've already played lady-focused games for AC and nobody complained. Everybody was fine with them. Yeah, it is kind of a weird game scrap, yeah. But I was showing an example of just like how there are games where you have Yasuke as a character in it, but why it's specifically odd for Assassin's Creed and why it feels weird. Oda trying to bring Japan into a Western Templar system sphere, and Tokugawa being the assassin friend as he historically more subterfuge among the other daimos. I can see. So that's why I'm like, it feels like Shadows had a really good idea, and at some point along the line, they decided they wanted to do the dual protagonists and either really fucked up the marketing the first time around, or the new marketing is hiding how they are really going to have the game, and the original marketing is actually what the game is like. I mean, that part we won't know, obviously, until the game is out. I heard the original draft was a ninja character. So the original version of like AC Shadows, terms of like the game they wanted to put in Japan ages ago, also dealt with the Sword of Eden, as I recall. So this is like completely different. They've completely scrapped that idea. Would explain why Tokugawa decided on isolation for Japan to keep the Templars out. See, that could have been a really interesting idea. My favorite multiplayer character in Brotherhood and Revelations was the courtesan, so I'm okay with a female lead AC game. Yeah, it's how things are written in general. So I played both AC China and AC Liberation, and I really loved those games. They were really good because they did something different with the games each time, right? Like China was the first 2.5D game they did, and then Liberation was a whole new stealth system where, depending on what tier of society she went in, she had a different disguise, right? But that was something specific, like only a woman in her position in that time period with her, you know, with her lineage could do. And that's what made it so interesting and so good. So I don't think true, like, fans of Assassin's Creed will ever have a problem playing a female lead. Whoever in Ubisoft keeps thinking this is obviously dumb, right? What people want is they want a well-written character that's well acted. And they don't want it just being, we obviously swapped it out generically for a male to a female, like with Cassandra and Alexios, right? If you're going to give it as a leading lady, give it to the appropriate story that a lady of that time would have, right? Now, Naue might have that. Don't get me wrong. She might. I'm not going to knock that for Shadows until we actually see more of it, just like in the history of AC, right? Because Evie was a really interesting character when they gave her story in the DLC. The problem I had with Syndicate was that neither character really got to have their own arc and their own storylines, and just the storyline of Syndicate in general was just so, it was like as deep as a puddle, a really shallow puddle as well. It really was like, ugh, right? So it's not it's not that the games who have female leads are poorly received. They're not. They keep shoving them into either side projects or making them secondary characters because they're convinced that it will never sell. Well, now you've pissed off the whole AFC base with this game, so now you're just going to convince yourself again that a female lead can't handle an Assassin's Creed game when that's like not the truth. I'm not going to get this game. I've already decided I'm not buying this game. I am not a fan of the games that this studio makes. For me, a lot of what's toned me off for this game is just how Quebec has treated the fan base and has treated Japan with it. That's my problem with it. If you can't be fucking bothered to learn what plants and what fruits are in what fucking season in another country, why are you making a game in that country that's supposedly based in history like Assassin's Creed is? That's ultimately my core problem with this game. Yeah, it's been on the wishlist since AC1. Yeah. The next game that's going to be coming out, Assassin's Creed based, is Hexe, which comes from Montreal, the mama and papa studio of AC, and it's quote unquote a different, entirely kind of AC game. And I'm like, I don't know if I like where this is, but we don't know anything about other than it's going to be in the Black Forest of Germany during the witch trials. That's the only thing we know about it. We don't know nothing else about it. So I like a lot of what I've seen visual direction wise from this game. I like a lot of what they've tried to do with stealth, but I also really don't like the open world AC games. Like, I loved Origins because I'm extremely biased to ancient Egypt because it's what got me into history, right? So I was like, okay, there's these things with it, but I love this game because of the story and when it's set, and Bayek's actor was amazing, and Aya was amazing, and then they fucked her by not giving her the DLC where she takes out Cleopatra, which was only historically in their AC game since AC2, but whatever, I guess that doesn't matter, shrug, whatever. So yeah, if we don't play as a witch, I will riot. Mentore and I are gonna be like glued to any screen that has any news about like Hexe, let's be real. What also annoys me is this lovely pre-order to get the upcoming expansion. So here's what annoys me about this. Obviously, it's going to happen. It's an Assassin's Creed game. We're going to have DLC, but they've bumped this game back how many times? Like twice, right? And they're like quietly like, yeah, it's so weird delaying it till March, but you can pre-order it and get the DLC pack if you'd really like, and that would be really great, and that would be really awesome. It's like my brother. People have the issue with the cultural insensitivity that you've had with this game. They have the problem with how you're splitting the dual protagonists. They have the problem of who you've picked as your protagonist, being Yasuke, and the way you are going about it. They have a problem with your tone. And you're going to be like, will you please buy our DLC? It comes with a bonus quest content, and that's kind of cool. And, it's like 10 additional hours, and you get the pre-order, you get the 10 additional hours. It's like, why isn't this 10 hours in the game that you've delayed twice? Well, we all know, because it was already scripted to be DLC. We already know that part, but, the point being made. I'm sorry, I have lots of feelings when it comes to Assassin's Creed. Because Assassin's Creed is very, very much one of my favorite franchises because I love history, so I have a lot of feelings about this. I may look into the story and what people are saying the story is. Maybe we'll do a rack night where we just watch like the entire game movie storyline and do that. But yeah, no, I'm probably not even gonna get this game on a discount. Like, I have no interest in playing games from this studio. Like, playing Assassin's Creed games from Quebec. I just have absolutely no interest in it. I don't like how they do their AC games. Maybe this would surprise me, but their tone when people are criticizing them and being like, we have issues, and they just pull out well, you guys are just, blah, 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 and all the different reasons. And they're trying to say that to the Japanese people who this game's about. The tone is just way killed the game for me from the studio. It's just like, wow, damn, dude, get a fucking check on your ego, okay? If you're going to, if you're a Western studio going to the East and being like, hey, I made this game about you and it's somewhat historically accurate, and they're like, yeah, no, it really ain't, and then you get butthurt that they don't like it, you need to peg yourself down a couple notches, my man. I'd rather not Ubisoft get sold to Tencent. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. But also, to be fair, Ubisoft has put themselves in this position by overspending on their video game development and expecting to be able to make it all back with games that are very buggy, that are not polished. I mean, you can just look at the IGN review of Outlaws and see that. And the only thing I'll put in Outlaws' favor was the game was in development before the Star Wars IP really took a disfavor with popular culture. So, to be fair, your game's already in development when all that happens. So in a lot of ways, the game being dead on arrival wasn't quite Ubisoft's fault in that regard. I'll give them that. But Valhalla made nobody happy on either side camp of AC. And then Mirage did a lot of goodwill, and then they took the shit with Shadows. So a lot of Ubisoft's current problems are of their own making. So, the story trailer looks interesting. Nowadays, story looks like a very typical assassin story in which bad thing happens because Templars, she go out and do things because Templars bad. It's not bad though, but it's very like, oh yeah, that's an AC storyline. Yeah. But it's not necessarily bad to play it as a safe story you know will work and go over well with the audience after, you know, kind of like how Valhalla went. It's not necessarily a bad thing.